Hello. I thought we'd just jump straight to the chase with where we left off yesterday. But how's it going? Hello, Tinsara. And Techie Rob. Already 10 o'clock. I was busy watching a movie, which is not something I do very often anymore. I don't really watch films. I really should sort of get back into watching movies, because I've kind of got into this habit of just watching YouTube and Twitch, and I feel like I never watch anything, and I always used to watch a lot of drama, like TV shows, not movies, and I don't know, there's a difference between watching a film, I think, sometimes, especially when it's a good film, to watching a TV show. There's just a lot more, probably, time and care put into it. But I had a lot of fun. I was watching RoboCop. I really enjoyed it. First time to watch as well. But let's get cracking with True Lies. Things are heating up now. Somewhere inside the city is a nuclear warhead set to blow. There's no time to evacuate. Our only chance is to find the keys and disarm it. I also need to just flip my headset. This thing is... Just a moment. I'm going to twist this. Hopefully it won't be too loud. Excuse me if it is. Maybe that didn't work. I'm trying to get the coil, the kink, out of the cord from my headset. It was bugging me. You know when they kind of, like when they start to twist? Does my head in. Right, let's carry on. So, True Lies. Did we read the manual for this level yesterday? I don't think I did. So I'm going to look at the manual quickly. So, let's go there. And we're on the Forbidden City. China. It's nuclear high noon. The Crimson Jihad informs the US of a hidden nuclear device in the ancient imperial city. If it's detonated, a devious disinformation campaign will point the finger squarely at... Oh, the United States. I don't think this wasn't in the film at all. The Forbidden City is haunting. Maze of catacombs and passageways, secret tunnels and hidden rooms. Puzzles within puzzles are where only... I can't read it all. Let me zoom that in. Puzzles within puzzles where only someone with the proper keys and clues may enter. To unlock one gate, you must first locate a key to another area where a further key lies. Harry must find his way through this disorientating underworld and fight off legions of loyal Crimson Jihad followers with his efforts to locate the 3 keys which he needs to disable the deadly bomb. In a race against time, the future of Sino-American relationships. Perhaps the world depends on you. Okay, and we'll leave that there for now. No tips for this level. RoboCop is a classic. I thought it was very good, yeah. There's no time to evacuate. Our only chance is to find the keys and disarm it. Oh, you know what I've done again? You have to excuse me a second. I think so, anyway. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, that's fine. Never mind. I thought I'd forgotten to set up the 6th button, but it seems I haven't. So we'll go with that. Oh! But before we go anywhere, I'm being raided by Mystical Machine Gun. Thank you so much for the raid. Are you in? Or are you stuck on ads? Now... Yesterday when I looked at this statue, I thought it looked like his stomach had a mouth above his feet. Woo! Hello, Mystical. Thank you for the raid. How was your stream? I had you on lurk, but I have to say, because of the spoilers, I wasn't looking a great deal. I was actually watching a film, but I was watching RoboCop and having a power nap because I had a headache today. I seem to have forgotten how to play from last night. 2 more PS2 adventures done. How many are there? I feel like there's, what, 4 or 5? RoboCop was great in its day and has aged pretty well. Total Recall and Starship Troopers make up the essential... See, that's... I didn't realise it was... I can't pronounce his name, but Verhoeven. I didn't realise that they were, in fact, the same... They're all the same directors, because I've not seen Total Recall, but if it's on Amazon Prime, and if I haven't checked, I'm going to watch that, I think, too. But I have seen Starship Troopers. I really like Starship Troopers. And then I've seen Basic Instinct, which I also really like. I like Basic Instinct, I like Starship Troopers. I've seen bits of Showgirls, but I haven't seen Showgirls, and I know that it's supposed to be a mess. I'd like to watch it properly sometime, though. Starship Troopers was a trip. That's the only one I've seen. I don't think I would ever watch any other Starship Troopers, to be honest. It doesn't strike me like they probably were very good after the first one. Getting through 2 a stream, so it's Fancy Star Adventures month. You don't even... I'm confused, though. Oh! Womp womp womp. Thank you for the resub, Sliding Sloop. They were not. I'm not surprised. Thank you so much, Sloop. How are you doing? What was I going to say? My brain was going. You don't usually stream today, though, right? Or have I misplaced today? I was confused why you were on. Techie Rob, thank you for the resub. You two are just on the same date, aren't you? You and Sloop. Because that was last time, too. Oh, Tajiko-san's here as well. Hey, Starry Moon, hope you're doing well. I am, how are you? I'm alright. I've done fuck all. Well, you've shared up. That's what you've done. I've done fuck all. I've literally been standing at the start of this level for about 10 minutes now. You're right, I usually don't do Tuesdays, but my mum's birthday tomorrow, so I'll be out. Well, there we go. Mystery solved. That's good. I'm doing good, thanks. Oh, congratulations yesterday. I saw your 900 plus followers stream. I was torn between raiding you yesterday and raiding who I did raid. It was a birthday stream or a 900 followers stream. And because the birthday person is never usually on at that time, I thought, oh, this time I'll go with them. But congratulations. Oh, this is just a mess. No! I'm streaming Sunday either, just to confuse you further. Then I'll never know what day it is. That's for a gig, though. Woo, I made it. Hey, Mechalavos. This game reminds me a lot of Die Hard. Really? Why? Now that you've said it, I feel it too, but I'm like, is there a Die Hard game that I can't think of? He does look it does seem like that sort of energy, though, doesn't it? Like, they could have made Die Hard into this sort of game. And it probably would have worked. No, there's a Die Hard on the NES, isn't there? And I've seen someone stream it, that's why I'm thinking of that. There's a Die Hard game. Yeah. Yeah, I've just suddenly clicked it all together. I watched Chrono Gear playing the Die Hard game. And it is kind of similar, isn't it? Arnie Sprite could be John McClane, yeah. What does he say? I've forgotten the quote. I'm going to embarrass myself now. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker, that's it. For some reason I was thinking Boom Shakalaka, but that was NBA Jam. But yeah, yippee-ki-yay. Yippee-ki-yay, Bellend. Is that one? I don't remember that quote. It's a bit British. And, you know, this was the 80s, wasn't it? Where all Brits were villains. Die Hard with a boom shakalaka. Hello, ooh! Hello, Barley Bab. How are you? I finished RoboCop. It's dead good. From downtown. Glass? Who gives a shit about glass? I'm going to die. I feel like I need to restart the level. I'm going to... Not doing very well. Oh! Boom shakalaka. Boy, booyah. I shouldn't read this so articulated. Thank you, set off another hype train. Is it the shoes? Was pleasantly surprised when I rewatched this at an older age. I'd never seen it before. Much smarter and funny than I realised as a kid. Yeah, it just had good energy. It reminded me a lot of The Crow. But it felt like a... I don't want to say it, but... Well, I'm going to say it. But it felt like a sort of... A better The Crow. Which I did see at a younger age. Thank you, nice boy. I think we were lurking in Mystics together earlier. I was lurking Mystic. Always up for a hype train. It does have the Crow energy. Yeah, it's just that sort of thing. 69% hype train. That's it. We're stuck there now forever. Just to keep that 69%. They made one of the best British actors be German. Yeah, what was his name? The late Doodle Flops. Alan Rickman. Similar plot in some ways. Yeah, it's that whole kind of revenge thing. Come back to get revenge. I always felt The Crow The Crow's not as good, in my opinion. I think The Crow lacks a bit of substance to it. It has a good idea and it has a good mood to it, and it's one of those, like, it's very iconic as a film, but I think when it boils down to it as a movie, there's not actually much going on in script-wise. Sort of reminds me of like a, you know, like a Kill Bill or something, but without all the pizzazz. Just a good romp. I'm very stressed right now about dying. And I do wonder, and I hate to say it, yes, okay, we can relax. Whew. The Crow isn't a good movie. Everything surrounding it makes it good. I would agree with that. I think if he hadn't passed away when he did, I think The Crow wouldn't have been elevated to the status that it is now. It's not a terrible movie by any means, though, but I don't think it would have become the cult classic that it is. And, you know, a favourite of Halloween parties to dress up as. I always enjoy when it's on. It feels a bit fluff, yeah. Then forgot afterwards. RoboCop is literally the story of Jesus. If you watch the since you rant about it, and it's actually crazy. I wouldn't quite feel that myself. I think I prefer the film without a Jesus metaphor. Paul Verhoeven is a madman, and I love him. I like his other films. That's what we were just talking about. I'm off to bed. Have a great stream. See, I half read your status, your text, and also answered in the middle. Do you see how I put a little thank in the middle of that sentence? What I meant to say was, alright, I'm off to bed, have a great stream. Okay, thank you, Mystical Machine Gun. Thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. I'm big multitask energy right now, and it's not going very well. I seem to have lost the ability to stream games tonight. I'm too busy thinking about... Well, I'm thinking about the game, I'm thinking about chat, I'm thinking about RoboCop. Ooh, I think tomorrow I'm going to watch Robocop 2. So, I don't know whether I'll actually even bother to stream tomorrow though, because it is a Wednesday and I have been debating not doing Wednesdays anymore. But we shall see. Because I finish later on a Wednesday from work anyway. But we'll see. I've always wanted to Kurtwood Smith to say Robocop, more like Robo Dumbass. Who's Kurtwood Smith? I need to use the shotgun, that's what I'm going wrong here. I saw that there's going to be a new Robocop game as well, when I was perusing the internet earlier. It's going to be based on the movies or something. That could be cool if they do that in a good way. Could you imagine they did like a really cool Robocop, like in a kind of not quite, but sort of Arkham Asylum kind of very well made game, full of energy, full of like atmosphere. I can't even see where we're going. Oh, the hype train is long gone. Better luck next time. See ya. He was Clarence Boddicker and the dad from That 70s Show. Oh, that's who he... Yes! I haven't seen those shows though, but I was watching the film and thinking, I know your face. He was awful in that movie. What a baddie. I'm going to... This level is quite difficult because of the... I can't see. Am I supposed to go through there? Wait, did I not go through there a moment ago? Is this a... Confused. Maybe I'm not supposed to go from this side. But I really need a medical pack. He's generally a nice guy from everything I've... Well, I assume he is. I assume he's acting. I don't think he's actually a complete psychopath in real life. I'm trying to think of the movies up to game I actually liked. Well, this is not bad, is it? Go on then, let's have that as a topic. Good game movies. Do they exist? Batman on the Mega Drive. I like that. The original Batman. Oh, fuck. I think we're just going to die. Unless there's a medical pack. Nope. Watch it, Harry. Watch it, Gib. The gate to the palace is locked. You'll need a key in order to open it. Okay. What was that then? This gate is locked. Oh, there's two gates. What's a good movie license? At the time, I liked The Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. And there's that RPG that's based on The Lord of the Rings. At the time, I liked the Two Towers game, though. It was very exciting, though. I think that was one of the first sort of movie games that I really got into because it had exclusive footage of the next film. So that was very, very exciting. It didn't ruin the film either, though, but it was cool. They had a recap of the Fellowship of the Ring with Mordor in it as well. So that was good. I wonder if it's aged very well though, because I haven't played it ever since it came out. I think I know the RPG one, it was not bad. Best movies after game, I'd have to say is Alien Isolation. True, but then I would also perhaps argue that that was... I suppose if we can have the Lord of the Rings RPG, we can have Alien Isolation. But I would say Alien Isolation is more of its own thing now, because it's a sequel to the movie, really, isn't it? Is there any games... I'll allow it though. But are there any... What's the best movie one that's actually the movie? A retreading of the movie. But no, I do think Alien Isolation is very good. Although, I think it was too long. I would say, without any spoilers and stuff, just to briefly talk about Alien Isolation, I would say it's a prime example of games don't always need to be long to be good. I think they could have cut the length of Alien Isolation in half and I would have loved it just as much, if not more. The whole sequence with the androids just kind of bogged down for me. Arcade Game for Willow was pretty good. I don't know that one. Thought of a game I really liked, GoldenEye. Ah, that one. Yeah, that one's good. It's weird with that one though, because that one's like Alien Isolation in a way. Oh, just go away. Oh, fucking rubbish. I'm gonna just get you from here then. With GoldenEye, what year was GoldenEye made? Because it's kind of weird, some of the better movie games weren't made when the movie came out, they were made like after, do you know what I mean? So I'm pretty sure GoldenEye was probably, what, 98? 97, 98, 90-ish? The movie's like 95, isn't it? I don't know where I'm going. Is this where I just came from? Yeah. The game is way better than the film. I like GoldenEye, the film. I think it's one of my favourite James Bonds. Pierce Brosnan's good Bond, although his movies they just got worse, didn't they? The Lawnmower Man wasn't a terrible game. It wasn't brilliant, but it wasn't terrible. I'd say it was a good effort. Probably, I mean, arguably, isn't the movie shit? Couldn't you argue that the game's actually better than the film? I haven't seen the film. Maybe I should watch it. I should have watched The Lawnmower Man before I played it. I probably would have felt something about it a bit more. That's why I watched True Lies. Although I don't think you need to watch True Lies to play this game, to be honest, because they don't seem to have a great deal. Golden. It is funny to get Sean Bean at the end of the game, though. Isn't the Die Hard trilogy supposed to be good? I remember my friend liked it. I didn't really get it, and I hadn't seen the movies at the time. I don't even know if I've seen all the Die Hards. Oh, no, I have. Yeah, I've seen them all, because the last one's Jeremy Irons, isn't it, in the telephone box. Super Star Wars games, yes, they are very good. But again, that's another example of them made much later. But those are good. I only had the first one though as a kid. Funny. I reckon that's it, you know. I think it's because those games weren't rushed. They weren't rushed to meet a movie tie-in deadline. They were made later with care, I guess. Die Hard trilogy isn't bad, but the game is hilariously broken. Because I do think the better movie games are the ones that were made like someone's chosen to make a video game out of this movie rather than let's just get a game out to capitalise on the movie's current success. Actually, the I would say that if you have played it, the Indiana Jones trilogy on the Super Nintendo is really good fun. I haven't played it for probably about 15 years though, but I remember really liking it when I did. So I think that's a good game. And also, it was really long because it was all 3 games, which is just crazy. E.T. We all know the real answer is Fantasia. Correct. Oh. Really? Really? Oh. Watch it, Harry. Oh, fuck off. I'm not even sure how worth it is. I've got 1 life left. Shall I just redo the level? I don't think it's going very well, is it? Getting excited to see the movie. I don't think you would, to be honest. Oh my god, do you mind? I'm gonna make a decision. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to the start of the level. Oh. I wonder if I can do it with my password. Oh. Let's have a look. Oh, I don't think I wrote my password down. Let's check the end of the last stream. I'm gonna take a screenshot this time. There it is. I'm so thoroughly prepared. I think I died way too many times too early. So let's chuck the password in. Because I feel like this is going to be a long level. G, D, J, C, B, D, J. Okay. I love how this game took Arnold and makes him look so short and fat. Yeah, he also seems to be leaning to one side the whole time. Like his right arm seems much bigger than his left arm. Robocop Arcade by Data East was pretty decent. I was looking at the videos of that and it looked kind of fun. I had a Robocop game on the Atari ST, but I don't remember liking it. I didn't play it much either. Imagine playing this game. I've read that. Right, let's see if I can stay alive this time. Whoa! I just needed that little warm-up to get back into the swing of how to play. Soundtrack is a perfect 5 out of 10. Yeah, it is. It's so just like nothing music. It's not even offensive, it just doesn't exist. Just filling in the space. It does what it needs to. Barely. These guys are really kind of hitting hard. Any more movie games? I'm trying to think how many I even own. Isn't actually Spider-Man the movie was actually rather good, wasn't it? I never played much of it though, but I heard it was good, and I liked what I played briefly. And then I heard that the second one was even better. Wasn't the second one like kind of was a big game? Oh. I'm surprised they haven't made... Well, actually, I guess they did, but I was just like, why they haven't made a ton of Marvel superhero video games? And do you remember that? There was that going to be that Square Enix Avengers. That seemed to just bomb. Bit odd, but I think they're putting out movies too fast to capitalise on the game. Probably, yeah, they wouldn't have time to make them. Oh. Oh, you bastard. Ugh. Way too much damage on this level. Yeah, I really enjoyed Robocop. I thought the effects were nice. Except for the robot thing, the robot machine, whatever it was, that being stop motion has sort of aged a little bit badly, but the rest of the film looked really good. And there's sort of, I was saying, like, there's sort of a certain weight to the movies made back then that you don't get now, where everything's kind of a little bit too, I don't know, sleek. And obviously CGI, but it did have a certain, it had like weight to it, and everything was kind of like real sets, which is nice to see. ED to an, yeah, that thing. Oh, there's a health pack there. Great. Well, I'll save it. I also liked how it was kind of a little bit over the top with the violence, which is definitely a trademark of that director, but it had that certain silliness to it. Movie run times really shot up after. Oh god, they did. Yeah, that's another thing that that gets me is I really enjoyed Robocop because I think it was 1 hour 40 minutes. Do you remember 1 hour 30 was the standard and 2 hours was long? And now it seems like all movies have to be over 2 hours long. I don't really enjoy overly long films. I find them like just I can't be bothered to, especially, you know, when you're not going to the cinema, it's like just sitting down to actually watch them. I'll watch them in 2 parts. Lord of the Rings was good, though. Lord of the Rings was worth it. And it was a treat to watch in the cinema, because they always used to come out on Christmas Eve, and I was obviously younger then. And Christmas Eve was like a really drag of a day waiting for Christmas. And I used to go with my, well, they didn't come out on Christmas Eve, but they were out over the Christmas period. So I used to go to the cinema with my friend. We would go and watch the new Lord of the Rings film, and it just became a Christmas Eve tradition for obviously 3 years. And then, and it was never that busy. There wasn't that many people there, and it used to just take the whole day up, and it was great. But if I was to watch them on DVD, I wouldn't probably sit and watch Lord of the Rings in one go. I'd break them up into two halves. See, the film that I objected to being long was Harry Potter. The 7th Harry Potter film, I don't know why on earth part 7 needed to be split into two. Well, I know why, money. But yeah, it just, I didn't like it. I remember watching the first part, Harry Potter 7 Part 1, on a plane on the way back to the UK. And it was just so boring. Part 2 was good fun. Really liked Part 2. I watched it on the following year, I think, on the plane. But Part 2 was much better because that's where all... Because I'd read the book. Part 2 had all the actual action in. And Part 1 just felt like bloat and padding. Because they kept... All the good stuff was being saved for Part 2. It just felt like the biggest cash in. Because everybody started doing that, didn't they? They started making double-parter movies. They did it with Twilight as well, didn't they? I never watched that, though. And arguably, the thing that I never understood is, just dwelling on Harry Potter a little bit, but I always liked the 5th book, The Order of the Phoenix. And that was the longest book. Nobody really likes that book, but I did. And that was the longest book of the lot, and yet it was the shortest film. But they made number 7 into a two-parter, and Order of the Phoenix was... The runtime of that film was the shortest of all of them, I think. And yet it was actually the biggest book of them all. And goes to show how much they cut out. See, I almost wish in this sort of generation, this age, they would make a modern Anne Rice Vampire Chronicles to the sort of standard that they do with everything now. Is there a sweet spot? Tried watching Twilight twice, lost consciousness both times, had the same problem with Catwoman. I've seen Catwoman, Catwoman's silly. I've not seen Twilight, but I have tried to read Twilight and it's awful. No offence. Not a fan. There's a few books that I couldn't get into. I tried to read Northern Lights as well and couldn't get into that. Right, wasn't there a medical pack over here that I left? I've forgotten now. There's one there. Did I left one. It was in a house. There it is. But yeah, I never got into Northern Lights. I tried to read that and I found the prose really boring, and the lack of characterization. This gate leads to the catacombs beneath the city. You'll need a key to get any further. I hate the writing on Twilight. I really couldn't stand it. It was just overly descriptive and dragged out. But I would rather read 50 Shades of Grey. And I did. Only the first one though. I guess I should finish that sometime. I don't know what happens. I read the first 50 Shades of Grey. It was bad, but in a fun way. Whereas Twilight's just bad. Twilight is why 50 range. I know, that's why. That was the link. Oh. Oh. No, why is everybody throwing grenades? It's really, really, really irritating. Because the time it takes for me to stand still and throw a grenade is longer than them. Got you. Fuck, like that. The grenade system is not very good. Probably shouldn't have bothered. Can I shoot, like, over that? Whoops, no. There's a key, though. I'm gonna just keep moving. Well, that didn't work out at all. Or that. I don't like the amount of people that are behind fences throwing grenades on this level. Oh! He's got a grenade launcher. Oh. Not gonna work, is that? Ooh, got him. Phew. You found the first bomb disarming key. 2 more to go. Okay, well that's the objective then, I guess. I'm just gonna check. I feel like I missed some stuff. Oh, has that just linked around? Great. Have I missed something? It's a little bit mazy. Mission Impossible wasn't too terrible. That film game. I liked it on the N64. It was a bit bad though. Oh. You found the key to the catacombs and an extra life. Well, how do I get to the guy shooting at me over here? Maybe I just need to go back now. Whoa! There were 2 doors though, so I wonder which to use the key on. See, what about this one? This gate is locked. Oh, not that key then, I guess. Gate's the palace is locked. You'll need a key. Well, what? Well, what's the key for then? I don't know where the catacombs is. I don't remember seeing anything. Any other locked doors? Maybe it's in the vicinity of the key. At some point I need to get over there though, surely. Oh, is it that? Apparently so. Oh. Oh God. That is that a shotgun again? Why is... Oh, I see. Was there not? I thought there was something flashing over here. Well, I might as well go back for that medical pack now. There we go. Hey Jamesy, how's it going? Oh, wait, I just came from there. You'll be pleased to know I've watched Robocop now. You no longer need to be outraged. I watched it today, before I went live. Because there is a Robocop 3 on the Mega Drive, so I thought... Well, that isn't actually the only reason, but because of bringing it up the other day, and then I was flicking through Amazon Prime while I was walking home from work, but it ended up being too hot for me to focus on watching something on my phone and walk. It was boiling hot today, but I remembered that because I don't pay for Netflix anymore because I'm trying to save money. I can't really afford Netflix right now, but I do have Prime because of the benefits of Twitch, letting me subscribe to somebody once a month, which I like to do. And to just keep my VODs on longer, which I kind of don't really need anymore, but I do it anyway. So, the real question is why do I remember to shoot the guy in the dick? Because it was the biggest target? I don't know. The lowest risk place, and he wouldn't expect it. But, so yeah, I don't know why I'm waffling, but I remembered that I have access to Amazon Prime, and then I was just flicking through, what's on Amazon Prime, and they said that on Amazon Prime they've got RoboCop 1, 2, 3, and they were in the section of the leaving soon. So I have 8 days to watch RoboCop. So I decided to sit down and do it, and I think I'll watch 2 tomorrow. I've heard that they get worse as they go on. I've heard 3 is not very good, but I shall watch it anyway because 3 is the one that there is actually a video game of. Did you love it? Yeah, I thought it was really good. Really good. I like the director though. I didn't realise it was actually him, so I like his other movies. We were just also talking about what video games make good what movies were turned into good video games. And so far we haven't managed to think of one that actually was specifically made at the time, more like later, like Super Star Wars and Alien Isolation or whatever. They weren't made when the movie actually came out. Whoa. There's a Warlock game as well, isn't there? Is Warlock on the Mega Drive? Does anybody know? I think it is. I'm pretty sure Warlock is on the Mega Drive. In fact, I'm just going to check. I might have made this up. Oh, it is. Based on the movie. I've seen the movie. I quite like that film actually. It's sort of nostalgic for me. Willow and Tron Arcade were both made at the time. Arcade games will be. Unfortunately, I haven't played many of them. Any of them. I don't know much about the arcade ones. Willow Arcade. I'll have to look that one up. Because isn't there an NES version of Willow or something? How does Willow function as an arcade game? What genre is it? I'd have thought it serves itself to be in an RPG. Willow's a good film as well. It's sort of I think Willow's I haven't seen that in years now. But I think it's one of those films that doesn't get enough prestige anymore. I like the first Warlock film. Yeah, I like the first Warlock film. It felt like a competitor with Highlander though. I don't know why. Those two films just... I think it's the one-word name kind of thing, but I think I prefer Warlock to Highlander, honestly. I don't remember being that arsed about Highlander, to be honest. I think... I haven't seen the other Warlock films though, but I don't know. I don't think they're not supposed to be very good, are they? I'd give them a go now. I think I was always hesitant to watch the other ones because they looked like they were going to be too violent. The first one is a little bit, but not overly. George Lucas intended Willow as a series, but never found an audience. Yeah. I think the problem with Willow, unfortunately, is the marketability of the hero. For that era, in particular, it would be hard to market. Whereas, like, you've got obviously Star Wars has got you've got Luke Skywalker and Han Solo and Princess Leia. You've got like somebody for everybody, I guess, and action figures and stuff. Isn't Val Kilmer in Willow, if I remember? Isn't that one of his first early films as well? I bet. He must have done Top Gun by then, perhaps. Val Kilmer was pretty good at the time, wasn't he? I liked the film, he did The Saint as well, I remember enjoying that. And then he did, what was it? Oh, then he did bloody Batman. He wasn't a terrible Batman, he was just in a bad film though. Yep, Val Kilmer, Mad Martigan. That's it, yeah, because he's in a cage, isn't he? Something. I haven't seen Willow in forever. There's a Willow NES game. Hey, Aster, we're just talking about good film games. It plays a bit like Ghosts and Ghosts, really? Who do you play as? Do you play as Willow? I should watch Willow again, it's been so long. I didn't watch it, like, quite at the time. Well, not at the time. I need to sneeze, excuse me. Oh dear. Wasn't even a sneeze, but I need to blow my nose. Is Val Kilmer? I've heard nothing but horror stories from people who work with him. Oh really? But, when was Willow made? I think it's older than me, I'm not sure, but... ish. But I ended up watching it. I feel like I watched it when I was about 10 or 11 or something, randomly on like the movie channel once. And enjoying it. I'm sorry. Wait, is that truly a dead end? I'm confused. Felt like it went nowhere. What about this one? This can't be just nothing. Licensed stuff, and of course. Oh, I peeked in on your City of Heroes, is it earlier? I see what you mean. Online game. And then I passed out because I had a headache. Ooh. And then I woke up and watched RoboCop. Just what's kind of started this. That and I'm playing a licensed game, but we ended up talking movies. I could do with a health pack. Oh, thanks. Oh, I'm scratching my arm. Old Dead Superhero MMO, fan service, and thanks for peeping in. I'll always have a little peep. I saw you on the street with some cape and doing some superpower thing. I was kind of confused what was the game and what was your stream overlay. I wasn't sure. But I did also have a splitting headache at the time. I think I was out in the oh shit. I think I was I think I was out in the sun too much today. And that was why I was a bit dehydrated. I bought a hat today as well because I don't usually wear hats or caps, but because I've been doing a lot of walking lately, I thought I need to buy a hat if I'm going to be out in the sun. Kilmer did have a documentary last week. His health is very bad, but he definitely rose since his career. The documentary about Richard Stanley's Island of Option Road paints a very different picture. Yeah, I feel like I've heard that actually, that he's difficult to work with. It's weird as well because you think at that point in his career as well, you'd be a bit more humble. I suppose things like that may be true though, because you wonder why these people aren't famous anymore. Because I think sometimes a lot of movie stars' careers, it's not just about how popular they are with moneymakers. That is a big part of it, you know, selling tickets. But if nobody likes working with you, you're not going to get those parts, are you? If you're difficult to work with, people will only put up with you to a T. Because, I mean, to some extent, I feel like that's kind of what happened with Lindsay Lohan and her career. I think people just got sick of her. Even if she does bring in money. But they just got fed up of putting up with her. Same with Shannon Doherty. She was a bit notorious, wasn't she? Although I quite like Shannon Doherty. I also think, I don't know, there's some people like Shannon Doherty. I mean, it's weird because it's a very parasocial relationship. I don't know her, never met her, haven't got a clue what I'm talking about, but just speculation. It's like she was young, and I think people are allowed to make mistakes in their youth, especially when they're under the scrutiny of the public eye. And I think Shannon, as an adult, comes across as a much better person. Obviously, she's also been through a lot lately too. GoldenEye was made close to the movie release. That was mentioned. Was that mentioned? Yes, it was mentioned. Because I was asking when was it made. Because again, I was saying like, it feels like that was made after. Because GoldenEye is like 95, isn't it? It just feels like the games that were good were made like apart from the movie. Like, I feel like when GoldenEye came out, it wasn't to meet a deadline. Because I feel like Tomorrow Never Dies came out really quickly as a game afterwards too. More like to cash in on the success of GoldenEye rather than the movie itself. The video game GoldenEye. In fact, instead of me just speculating, let me just look. GoldenEye game. Because the N64 is always older than I remember. 97, so it's 2 years after the movie, so that's quite a gap. That's plenty of time to like put a lot of effort into it. Richard Stanley has issues of his own, playing around in a screenplay and being a serial bunny, and a sex pest. Oh dear. Wow, people in glass houses then. Oh, finally got the Uzis. This level's going to be a long one, isn't it? Old Rareware, I miss them. I never played Perfect Dark. I always wished I'd played Perfect Dark. That's one of my sort of gaming regrets, that I didn't buy Perfect Dark. I don't know how I would play it now. Can't even remember if it came out in Japan or not, off the top of my head. Because I have debated at some point buying a Nintendo 64, because while they're like affordable, because there's quite the library of that isn't going to really make its way onto Virtual Console, because I was content with just Virtual Console N64, but I don't think it's all going to ever get released, not some of the interesting stuff, only just the Nintendo stuff. So I was thinking of picking up another N64 at some point, but then the problem with the N64 library is a lot of the interesting stuff is also crazy expensive as a game. I'm probably going to get more. The games that I would want for the N64, I really want to get Castlevania N64 and the other one, Legacy of Darkness or whatever it is, but that's the one that's expensive. I've never played that one. The sort of sequel slash 2.0. I had the original Castlevania, well I still do because it's in the UK, but I had the original N64 Castlevania, and yeah, it's kind of crap, but it's my crap, and I have big nostalgia for it. And I never finished it, so I would kind of like to finish it. I'm going to go back, because it seems like I've gone all the... Wait a minute, is that an extra life? No. But yeah, I'd like to play that one again. And then there was a couple of games I never got to play that I always fancied. I'd like to play the Goemon game. I'd like to play Paper Mario properly. I did have it on the Wii U, but I didn't like the Wii U's N64 emulation. It was dark. I didn't know at first. I didn't notice it, but then I eventually did compare it. For some reason, all the N64 games on the Wii U were just dark. Mystical Ninja, that's the one. Yeah, I always wanted to buy that at the time. I didn't know what the series was, but I never got it. They were a bit expensive, those N64 games. Kind of picked and choose which ones I got. I do remember specifically looking at Mystical Ninja though in the shop and really, really debating it, and then I bought something else instead. I don't remember what it was. or I might have bought two things instead because it was more expensive. What is the point of that? Oh. I think I just got some health. It was a rental and it blew my mind. See, I'd like to play it now. All these mines everywhere. At some point I'm supposed to get mines, but I've yet to ever find any in-game. Oh. There they are. There's my mines. You found the key to the palace. Lovely. I guess we can leave now. Can I roll over this without blowing up? Ooh. I would assume you'd think this would be a good secret, right? You'd be wrong. It's just a medical pack. Oh. Perhaps I should have left it. There's another medical pack. What I would really like. Is an extra life. Thought so. That's what we needed. Quite a lot of lives. Really? Oh, oh my god. Where was that other medical pack? There we go. Whoa! Oh. Blowing yourself away. Kind of a bit full. Well, I'll take those. Oh. Oh yeah. That's the flamethrower. Nice secret. Whoa. Can we not? And another one. I'm gonna have to go back, but I'm confused about this layout. You bastard! Oh my god. That explosion. Well, let's look up here first. Oh, for God's sake. What else did I just pick up? 1989 Batman game was released at the same time as the Tim Burton film. I've heard it isn't terrible. Which one is that? I'm guessing that's not the Mega Drive one. But that was about 1990 though. I would say that's close. I like the Mega Drive Batman game. I would say it's very, very close. Batman Returns was made at the same time as the film, I think, as well, but that's not very good. I kind of wish I hadn't done the Batman game so early now, because I would like to play it now. Again. Maybe I'll just play it again, you know, whatever. I'll do what I want. What's going to happen? Somebody going to phone the police because I'm replaying a game. Batman on the NES is one of the best on the system. Is it really? I've never played it. I like the Mega Drive one because the music is incredible. Weirdly good license game. Yes, that's the one. Which is the one? Dirty's or mine? Or both? Starting to run out of shotgun bullets. Oh, another life. A lot of good Batmans. Wow. But then there's Batman Returns and Batman Forever, which are not very good. And then there's even like Batman and Robin on the PlayStation, isn't there? I don't think that's supposed to be very good. Although maybe it's better than the film. Mega Drive Batman, it's the movie tie-in, same as the one released on the movie. Yeah, the Mega Drive Batman's fantastic. Well, actually no, that's not true, because what I've said about the Mega Drive Batman, it has incredible music, but I think it's not aged as well as my memory of. I still like it. I have nostalgia for it though. I think it's a good game. But when I replayed it, I could appreciate how someone who's never played it before might find it a little bit janky. But I really like it. I've seen other streamers play it that hadn't played it before. Abby Jam's played it, and the impression I got was that she really enjoyed it, so maybe it is not just nostalgia. But yeah, it has a few wonky elements to it, I think. You need to know how to play it, I think. You need to know... There's some real bull. Oh my god, the splash off these fucking rockets. Just gonna roll. Or not. I can't even fit my ass through the fucking thing. Don't even need to kill ya. Not gonna bother. See ya. Tojiko-san's played it, yeah. I don't know what they thought of it though. I know that there's that clip though. Bum 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 bum. At the Bugelheim Museum, is it? But yeah, the thing with that Batman game is you need to understand how to play it, or else you're not going to have a good time. Whoops. Accidentally hit pause. Because you have to jump into enemies to knock them back. And if you don't, you're gonna struggle. Because you kind of get a weird iframe when you somersault into an enemy, you can bounce back off them and knock them as well. And sometimes, if you don't do that, you're not going to be able to like get across the area very well. But the music on that game is just is probably one of the best soundtracks on the Mega Drive. It is that good. Bastard. Well, now I really need a health pack. When does this area end? I may just be doing one level tonight. May only be doing this level. Oh, the lad I played it too. I think it was Deathless Rum. Does he have nostalgia for it though? I'm guessing so if he's doing Deathless. Because I like the game, I have no problem with it, but I can appreciate how a modern game I might find it a little bit iffy to try and play now. Or even just somebody that just has no no nostalgia in general, but does appreciate retro games. I don't think anybody would hate it though. I just think it's it wasn't as smooth as my memory of it. Especially the shooting levels. The car, in particular the Batmobile level was a bit trashy compared to what I remembered. But the music is so good, you can sort of overlook it. I want to play it now. You did. Wait, no, it was Prax music, no nostalgia, and has complaints about the drops. See, I watched Abby Jams playing quite a bit of it. I would redo that. I might do a redeem at one point for like replaying games within reason. Obviously not like, I'm not going to replay Landstalker because it'll take me about 30 hours, but I might also revisit a few games on hard mode just for fun, games that I want to. Batman might be fun to try and do. That clip was epic, yeah. Dun 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 dun. My favourite music from that though is the shooting levels though. I also move characters to the beat of the music though. I kept doing that in Blades of Vengeance. I couldn't help myself. I had to keep like pressing crouch with the bass line. Well, no, it was the drums in Blades of Vengeance. It's so hard not to resist. Oh, fuck this. Oh! Watch it, Harry. You found the second bomb. One more key. Let's go. Those rocket launch people, really janky when they're in bad places like that. Oh, I know where we are. Oh. I want to play Batman now. If it wasn't, it's kind of late though. I was tempted to just put it on. I grew up with Batman though. My friend, the same friend that had Super Fantasy Zone, had Batman, and Ariel the Little Mermaid, and I used to always borrow Batman because I loved it. If you ever watch Sega X-Lord on YouTube, he uses the music from that game in his ending credits. I think he uses it in two different songs as well. Oh, these rocket launcher guys. At least they don't make you backtrack too much. They put you close enough to the exit after the game. Yeah, it feels like there's been a lot of thought. It's quite unusual for this sort of old game. There's a lot of thought into the level and how it all ebbs and connects together. You know, instead of just being like, you got the key, now walk back. Everything sort of links up, doesn't it? I am quite impressed in that sense. Did I just say repressed? I meant impressed. I'm not that repressed. Perhaps shouldn't have got that yet, but oh well. Is that gonna... No. Woo! Robocop on the Spectrum came out a year after the movie. Is it good though? Do you know what? I keep forgetting I got the flamethrower. I probably could have used that on the rocket people. I had Robocop on the Atari ST. I got given it. I didn't play it much. I didn't like it. I couldn't figure it out. I think I kept dying on the boss on the first level. Wow. Melted him. I loved it, and the title screen music. So I was watching Robocop today, and I heard the theme music, and I'd never put it together before, but the music from Robocod, James Pond 2, is just referencing that, isn't it? That da-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na-na. I'd never noticed that before. It seems strange though, because like I don't really get it with James Pond 2 because yes, it's called RoboCod, but it doesn't really have much to do with it. It feels like it just felt to me like it was just a pun, but the theme tune is RoboCod as well. RoboCop. I didn't really know the Robocop music though, but I did have the Spectrum on and it does use the music, so I've definitely heard it before. I like the way he walks with this. Look at that wobble, 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 wobble. Which stair should I go up first? Oh, he should blow himself up. Idiot. He'll blow himself up, won't he? Eventually. Did he just do it? I think he did. Ooh. 2 health packs. Dandruff Wookie, thank you for the follow. They ditched the theme for the other Robocop films. Terrible. Did they? I wonder if they ditched it or rather they didn't want to pay for it. So they don't use that theme in the second movie? That's a huge shame. I quite like that. I'm gonna take the other stairs first. Oh, here we go. Not sure which way to go first. Oh, missed him. Oh, is this just looped around? I think this is just looped, hasn't it? What do you think of the other RoboCops then? Is it the general consensus that 3 is terrible and 2 is not as good as 1? I mean, that's usually how films go anyway, but is 2 any good? I'm gonna watch it anyway, but I'm just curious. Except for Terminator 2, which is what they always tout as the the movie that's better than the original. 2 is worth watching. It's the same guy in 2 though, isn't it? The same actor? I know he's not in 3. I mean, I'm gonna watch them anyway because RoboCop... This is loud. RoboCop 3 is a game on the Mega Drive, so I want to know what the story's about before I play it. Oh. I know which stairs to go up. Oh, they're both looped up now, I think. Yeah. RoboCop 3 is a struggle. Oh dear. Same actor, not the same director. 2's not the same director either, though, is it? Oh, you're on about 2, though. 2 is not as good as 1. They played up the comedy violence a lot. I found the whole thing a lot less enjoyable. I've heard 3 is, like, really toned down, trying to get more of a family audience. RC1 is Paul Verhoeven Glory. Yes, I just watched it today. That's why I keep talking about it. Just before I went live, I watched the first movie. I'd never seen it before. But I liked his other films. I love Basic Instinct. And I was saying, talking to my brother, they changed the actor for 3. I think they brought in Orson Welles, the main villain. I liked 2, but 3 I didn't get past about 20 minutes. Well, I shall struggle because for us all, because I want to, when I play the game on the Mega Drive, I want to have the knowledge. Might have been rip torn. See, I was saying earlier. Oh, I feel like Starship Troopers is really underrated, and I feel like has it become sort of a cult classic now? A sort of a trendy cult film or something, but I feel like it should be a bigger film than it was. I haven't seen it for a very long time, but I don't think my opinion would change. But when it came out, it was one of the first films that I watched, I think, that was really violent for the time, for the age I watched. Because I didn't, I've said before, I didn't really like violent films when I was younger, and my gateway into them was animated films. I watched Devilman, the OVA. That was sort of a gateway for me. Because I was always bothered by live action. I think I imagined them to be much worse than they were. And then when I finally watched a lot of them, like I wouldn't have watched RoboCop because it was an 18. That's why I didn't want to watch it, I think. But I would watch Batman. But I think I thought, oh, RoboCop's going to be too scary. To be honest, I probably wouldn't have liked it because it is a little bit violent. But I remember Starship Troopers, and when did that come out? Like 97, 98? But I think I watched it later, probably by about 2001, 2002. I think I watched Starship Troopers. And I remember it being probably the first kind of really ultra-violent movie, because it's a really kind of violent film, that one. But I think it gets kind of glazed over because of the genre it is. I think the humour and social commentary in Starship misses its mark at times. I can see how it would seem dull, taking it at face value. Yeah, I think that's a big part of it for me. I was reading about it earlier on the internet just because of nostalgia. I was looking it up. And it feels like a lot of people didn't get that movie, but I always thought it was pretty straightforward. I thought it was very tongue-in-cheek, and it had a very sort of one-tone message, which doesn't bother me because sometimes movies can be simple and still be fun. Because obviously, Starship Troopers, my memory of it, it was just a bit satirical on like war and mindlessly signing up, you know, for the military and just that sort of. It seemed like a sort of a satire parody of a military film but set in space. The only good bug is a dead bug. Isn't that what that film was? Or have I made that up? But I didn't think it was. I don't know. I didn't think there was a lot to misunderstand about that film. And it was watching them all go up together and the tragedy, I guess. Would you like to learn more? Yeah, that's it. Did I walk into Starship Trooper talk? You did. How you doing, Angel? Because we're just rabbiting because I've been watching RoboCop earlier, and then we were talking about video games that were based on movies that were actually good. But we're trying to find a video game that's good based on a movie, but the game actually came out at the time of the movie. Not like, you know, like Super Star Wars came out well after the movies and GoldenEye came out 2 years after the movie, so there wasn't a rush to make the deadline. Good luck with that. Well, this one's not terrible, actually. And this one came out the same year as the film. And then what was it that we said? Batman on the Mega Drive? That's also pretty good. Is that a Michael Jackson ow with the health pack? I don't know. Let's listen next time. I didn't notice there was a sound effect. Then it's also got, what's her name in it, hasn't it? Denise. I'm going to pick that up in a moment, I think. In case it suddenly sends me to a boss or whatever. Isn't there another medical pack that I've not picked up around here? Give them time. Richards. What's Richards? Have I missed something? And Neil Patrick Harris. Infants on StarCraft and other sci-fi stuff. Make sure you watch the Japanese RoboCop commercials. Oh, remind me to. Are you in my Discord? I can't remember now, Dirty. I think you are, right? Can you post a link if you've got one? And I'll look later. Neil Patrick Harris. Yeah, why is he in that? Denise Richards. Did I not finish my sentence? Did I say Denise What's-Her-Face? Or Denise... I didn't say Denise Van Outen, did I? Oh, I think I was getting distracted by all the gunfight. Denise Richards, though. You know, I don't say this lightly, but I have a little crush on Denise Richards. I think there's like 2 or 3 women that I would, so to speak, go straight for. I think Denise Richards to be one of them. My brain derped. Link what? The Japanese commercial for RoboCop that you just said. Starship Troopers with Denise Van Outen. Keith, stop it. No. But yeah, Denise Richards, I think she should have had a much bigger career than she did, I think, as well. I loved her in Drop Dead Gorgeous as well. She's hysterical. Right. I've forgotten where the key was now. There it is. You found all the keys, now go and disarm the bomb. I don't know where it is. Casper Van Dien is in it, isn't he, as well? I don't even know. I just remember his name because it's so weird. I think I just remember it being... Because I actually had Starship Troopers on video. Proper boxed copy VHS. And I remember it... Was it Casper Van Dien? What else did he do? Went on to bigger things like Starship Troopers 3. Yeah. Bless him. He was a bit of alright as well. But who else do you think I like? Nobody will ever get it though, so I don't know why I'm asking. But who else I would like other than Denise Richards? Actually, it's funny who it is. Oh my god, can we all just stop shooting? This is so loud. Sully from the X-Files. No. Although, isn't she... Sully's the girl, right? Isn't Sully... Me and my friend back home have had a long running joke about Sully. Because isn't she's considered like the sexiest woman of the 90s, pretty much. And we're both like, surely, like, not that there's anything wrong with her, but like, of all women, she's like she's the 90s sex, what's the word? Oh, I can't think of the word now, not sex bomb. But like the sexiest woman of the decade or something. We had a lower standard. I mean, she's not bad, but just like Neve Campbell. Neve Campbell's alright, but no. Can we get a clue? Well, it's funny because of. Well, any clues will be obvious, but yeah. It's just funny because of what I'm playing right now. That's a clue. And it's not Jamie Lee Curtis. Casper Van Dien was in 2 films last year where he seemed to play someone called Ben. Wait, I just joined. What's the question? Well, we were talking about movies, and then I just backhandedly brought up that I think Denise Richards is really beautiful, and I have a little bit of a crush on Denise Richards, and I said that there's a few women in life that I would go straight for, and Denise, so to speak, I mean, I wouldn't, but you know what I mean. You know how people like to say, like, oh, I'd go gay for Johnny Depp. Well, I would go straight for Denise Richards, and now people are trying to guess who the other person is. Not Tia. No, but actually, now that you've mentioned that, I'm just like, I like her too, but I think that's a different kind of way. I just think she's fantastic. But I do like her. Yeah, she's in this. Now, the person that's in this, I don't have a crush on them in this movie. Alyssa Milano, no, that's Commando. Is this a 90s start? No. But they are in this movie. But I would say that they weren't famous until the 2000s. They were in one of my favourite TV shows. I heard Commando. I haven't seen Commando, I need to watch it. They were in one of my favourite... Sarah Michelle Gellar, you're so close, but not quite there. I did... Sarah Michelle Gellar was my beard, though. Sarah Michelle Gellar was my beard during... like junior high school. A very terrible beard that was fooling nobody. But I had posters of Sarah Michelle Gellar in my bedroom. But also David Brenner's. So there we go. I watched it. Commando unironically slaps. I've watched it at least 8 or 9 times. I've not seen it. I had to Google it, but Elijah Dushku. Yes, Elijah Dushku. I think she's just gorgeous. And she's got a badass attitude. Don't you think, though, if you think about this logically, Elijah Dushku and Denise Richards are very sort of similar kind of people in an attraction kind of way. I think there's a connection there. They're both brunettes, very sultry. Yes, that's it. Very sultry. I also just think Elijah Dushku is fantastic, and I think she should have a much bigger career than she has. But yeah, she's in True Lies. She plays Arnold Schwarzenegger's daughter. I think she's like 12 or something when it was made. Oh, I died right next to a medical pack. It's miserable. But yeah, I think that's it. Oh, and also, I think if I was to think of one more, sometimes it gets a bit blurry for whether I just think that they're utterly fabulous in a kind of like, you know, like Ivy from Soul Calibur is just ridiculously sexual, that it's kind of amazing, but it's not realistic. I think I also really like Kim Basinger. I just love to look at Kim Basinger. I just think she looks so wonderful. And I can't believe it is just scary to Google Kim Basinger and see how old she is now. Don't do it. You'll regret it. Kim Basinger is very Ivy from Soul Calibur. I really like Kim Basinger though, as as a person and actress. I think I like watching movies with her in. I love My Stepmother's an Alien. And there's another link there, because My Stepmother's an Alien has 2 very young Buffy stars in as well. It's got... Do you know who? Don't Google it. Does anybody know the 2 Buffy stars that are in My Stepmother's an Alien without Googling? Have you ever noticed? 9 and 5 days was a thing in the 80s. What's that? Is that a movie? I'm Googling. I'm confused. 9.5 days. What's that? 9.5 days, 1993. 9.5 weeks. Oh, 1986, 9.5 weeks. Is that the one with the window, the blinds? 9.5 weeks. Oh, I should watch this. I'd probably like this film. I'm going to leave that open in a tab. I've never seen this. I should watch this. Is that Body Heat? I haven't seen that either. But no, that looks fun because I do actually quite as a guilty pleasure. I've in the last couple of years or so, I kind of got into 90s erotic thrillers, like Basic Instinct. So me and my friend, we were watching it. Like we spent the last Christmas. We watched Basic Instinct 1 and Basic Instinct 2. I'd seen Basic Instinct 1 before anyway. Basic Instinct 2 though was terrible. God, that's an awful film. But then we watched all the shooting. We watched Boxing Helena on Boxing Day. It wasn't very good, but it was entertaining, but it was bad. Japanese Christmas eating KFC while watching 90s erotic thrillers. There was no KFC. We had a full-on dinner. My friend cooked a lot. It was great. Should have watched IPO. What's that? See, I particularly like when it says to when I'm saying like erotic thrillers, I don't know if I'd want to watch one that was made now. I particularly like that late 80s, 90s vibe. I just love the ridiculousness of it. Really sultry, like Kim Basinger, what's her face, Sharon Stone. What's that other movie? Single White Female is a good one as well. Slither. Just that sort of silliness. I find it really fun. I really want to watch Poison Ivy with Drew Barrymore, but you can't get that anywhere. You can't even buy it on Amazon, digitally to watch. I also want to watch The Crush with another actress that I really like from that era, Alicia Silverstone. She's great. Oh, 9.5 weeks saw that. I need to watch this film then. I wonder if it's on Amazon Prime. I shall make a memo of it. Maybe I'll watch it with that friend. Hajime no Ippo is my legit favourite anime. I don't know that one. Let me look at that. Let me see if I recognise it. Oh, boxing themed. Oh, I get what you're talking about now. I don't know this one though. Whoa, 134 books. It's a lot. Wild Things with Denise. Yeah, see, I feel like I need to watch that movie because it's Denise Richards and Neve Campbell, and they're both great. I always remember that one coming out, but I was too young for it. I always remember seeing it in the TV guides because it's got that iconic, them like coming out the water, isn't it? Isn't that Wild Things? I like Neve Campbell. Scream is one of my favourite sort of horror films as well. I love that 90s sort of atmosphere as well. I get really nostalgic for that now. There's a water makeout scene. Oh wow. Steamy. Well, I think this has Matt Dillon's dong in it. Oh! I'm trying to think who Matt Dillon is now. Oh, that Matt Dillon. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Not quite my cup of tea. I think I've just seen too many annoying films with him in. He did a film recently that I wanted to watch though. I can't remember what it was now. That looked good. Totally different sort of vibe. I think he was playing a gay man. I can't remember, but that is a whole like other box that I'm hesitant to open, but I kind of get in a mood sometimes with that, and then again not with that, because it feels like when a straight actor plays a gay man in a biopic or something, it's like Oscar material because they've done such a convincing job and so bold of them to do this role or something like that, and it's just like, you know, you could have just got a gay actor to do it, and then but then it wouldn't have been Oscar material. But it seems like a lot of some of these movies, or is it the trans what? That's Milk, isn't it, that I'm thinking of? But no, didn't he play a transgender person actually, Matt Dillon? I can't even remember now. He did something LGBT recently, and I've totally forgotten what it is. But it does seem like all these male actors, they do seem to reach a point in their career where they have to do some sort of like edgy LGBT film, and then they win like an Oscar for it. It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't bother me to the point that I wouldn't watch the film, but it just sometimes it's like, why is that a thing? Not just male or older. Hilary Swank. Hilary Swank. She did Monster, didn't she? Oops. Is that what I'm thinking of? What is this film with Matt Dillon? I need to look it up. I've got the tab open for him. We'll just be dead on the side for the minute. Sunlight Junior. No, that's not it. Oh, we did The House That Jack Built, which I fancied watching. I'm mixing this up. It's not Matt Dillon. It's what's his face. Oh God. Who? I can't remember his name. He's in Failure to Launch. He's in Failure. He used to be kind of a heartthrob in the 2000s for some people. Yes, McConaughey. Yes, he did a movie. I forgot what it is. Matthew McConaughey. And it was like it seemed just, I only saw the trailer of it, but it just looked like a total like vehicle, award vehicle thing. was it? Magic Mike? Not Magic Mike. Sorry, I'm just looking up what it is now because it's bugging me. The beach? No. Oh, I've no idea. Dallas Buyers Club. That was it. That was it, I think. I haven't seen it though. I haven't seen Milk either. I actually don't watch. I don't really watch a lot of films that are. I don't watch a lot of films, but fucking hell, this is ridiculous. Fuck off. Enemy placement is getting a bit obnoxious. But yeah, I actually don't watch that many sort of LGBT themed films. I guess, I don't know. Maybe when I was younger I did, but these days it's not what I look for specifically. I'll just watch anything. What is this? How are we gonna get out of this one? This is actually a little bit ridiculous. Is that gonna reach? Oh, I got him. Hand grenades didn't seem to reach. What? Did I get him? Oh, here's the bomb. How many lives have I got? 3. That was close, Harry. The bomb was about to blow. Headquarters reports that the Crimson Jihad has taken over an oil refinery. There's nothing like hopping on a jet to the end of the world to shoot at terrorists. Well, I'm gonna grab that password once it goes through. Harry will not be stopped. Now it's personal. This wasn't in the Forbidden City, though. You're just making up the game as you go along. This scene wasn't in the Forbidden City. The refinery is under siege, Harry. Take them all out before this place blows sky high. Do I have time to do this level, or should I leave it for tomorrow? I'm not sure. I want to look at the manual, though. So let's do that. The refinery. They don't care who they hurt. This time the Crimson Jihad runs amok in the midst of an oil field. Harry negotiates the hectic Petra puzzle, but first he must dispatch the swarms of enemy defenders that await him outside. The terrorists take cover behind everything they can find, so Harry will be blasting his way past an enemy that is as cautious as it is dangerous. And then there's about, what, 2 levels left? Let's have a look at this one then, I guess. I wonder how long it will be. I don't know if you're still around, James. Did you have any idea of how long this level was? So I kind of don't want to be any more than 30 to 40 minutes at the most. I suppose we can have a look. And if I need to do it again, I'll do it again. Oh. Why is there no music? Just whirring. Is there supposed to be music? I guess I should watch Commando now, seeing as everybody keeps bringing it up. And especially after I found out Alyssa Milano's in it too. I was watching the trailer for The Running Man earlier as well, and I kind of want to rewatch that, but when I watched the trailer, it was like, this doesn't look quite as good as my memory of it. It looks good fun, but not as highbrow as perhaps. Like True Lies, I think is actually a very sort of polished movie. Obviously, because it's James Cameron. But Running Man is so campy, yeah. Big camp energy. What was Arnold Schwarzenegger's like first films? Was it the Running Man is an early one, isn't it? Oh, this is not going well. I need to get a better gun. I hate these blue guards. Such asses. Barbarian. Is that the breakout role? Are you ready for pain? Why? Do you know this one? Arnie's first films were like Hercules in New York, and they dubbed his lines. Oh. I guess Conan's the first one where he became sort of a star. I also didn't realise, you know, when we talk about Arnold Schwarzenegger... Oh! Thanks. We just talk... We have all those, like, quotes in our culture. His first one was Pumping Iron, I think, then Hercules in New York. So we have those quotes, you know, like, Hasta la vista, baby. I always had the quote growing up of "I'll be back," and I didn't realise that that was from the. I was watching the trailer for The Running Man, and I saw him say that. I was like, "Oh, this is from The Running Man." And also, the way he says it in the film is nothing like the way the kids used to say it. All that kind of like "I'll be back," but he doesn't say it like that at all. He says it quite normal. Oh shit! I'm gonna get killed. Where's the? Oh. Want that medical pack? Don't you dare. Don't you dare. We're so close. Whew. Terminator 1. Does he say it in Terminator 1? Oh, that's where it's from? He says it in The Running Man as well, then. How weird. With that diction, so I haven't made that up, then. It is actually a thing. But in The Running Man, he just literally he just says it. He says it to the bad guy. When he's about to be sent down the tube, he turns to him and says, like, Jillian or whatever, "I'll be back. I'll be back." Oh, yeah, he does. Yes. So I thought both quotes were from Terminator, but I was wondering if that was like a Mandela effect, where I was just remembering it wrong. Sorry, I was quoting Captain Freedom's workout from The Running Man. First one was from where? Did I miss that? Are you ready for pain? Oh, that. I don't know The Running Man well enough, though. I don't think I've seen it in about 15 years. Or more. 20. Don't remember the level length, but the path is better like this road. Here's highlighted T2. Is that why? That must be why it's so famous then, him just saying, "I'll be back." You know, this is getting to be quite troublesome. I really need a gun. A good gun. I've never seen Terminator 3. I've only seen... And I didn't see whatever the prequel thing was. Music's good on this level though, right? What were his other quotes? Hasta la vista, baby, I'll be back. See, as anybody that's played Tenchu, I always thought the first boss on Tenchu was channeling that sort of Arnold Schwarzenegger thing. It looks like you chose the wrong party to crash. Who is your daddy and what does he do? Excuse me? Is that the quote? Get to the chopper. Put that cookie down. What are we also... What movies are these from? Who is your daddy and what does he do? Is that from Jingle All the Way? Or from Kindergarten Cop? Oh, that's a great film. I love Kindergarten Cop. Has Arnold Schwarzenegger been the bad guy in any films? He's always the hero, isn't he? Cookie down is Jingle. Put that cookie down. Jingle All the Way is not a terrible movie either. Although I think it's sort of where Arnold's career started to just become a parody of itself. I think it became hard to cast after those movies. I really want to find a gun. This guy. This level is horrible. Absolutely horrible. Shit. Double shit. Wowzers. Can't even... Oof. Possible spoilers, but at least once, yes. Oh. Let's not. Well, let's not yet, because it probably is a spoiler. I just like the most of Arnie's movies. I think he's such a fun guy to watch, even when the movies are bad. He was an antagonist in the first. Oh, the first one. Yes, he was. That's true. Yes. Easy to forget that one, because they sort of retconned it away with the second, didn't they? Well, not retcon, but overwrote it so you forget about it. I actually like the first Terminator, and I know the second one, I said this the other day, but I do really enjoy the first one. I like him being the baddie. I think it's more scary. It's a great film. Oh. Talk about iconic Arnie baddies. What about Mr. Oh! Yeah, we talked about that yesterday, was it? We were doing all the quotes 2 days ago. Chill out, chill guys, or whatever it is. Freeze. Oh my god. This level is ass. This level is so bad right now compared to the rest of the game. Just everybody's stood behind stuff I can't shoot and just throwing fucking grenades everywhere. And I still don't have any good guns. Oh, there's the Uzis. Just feels unfair. Hey, Sadie. Ugh. Ridiculous. Goodness, a pretty sick beat. Bam, 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 bam. Whoa. Can everybody just stop? Jesus. Why has this level gone quiet now? Oh, we're back. Horrible level. Remind me of the ooze. Wonder whether they get more top-down action games like this. The Mega Drive, it's quite budget friendly. Yeah, it does work. Oh, no, the sound's gone again. Guess maybe side scrolls were all the rage. Personally, I prefer the SNES release of this. I've heard it's better. I've heard it's more optimised. I wonder if the zoom is better. I've mostly been enjoying it though. I'm not a fan of this level though. This level sucks. There's a health pack there, isn't there? I'd like to get... Whoa! Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh! I don't think I'm gonna get through this level. Just enemies at every direction. And I could really do with a shotgun. Whoa. Ooh. Oh, it's very, very frustrating, this sort of design. Just constantly people stood behind walls throwing grenades at every angle, and I can't see them. Oh, well, I've been the other... Whoa! Jesus. Oh, come on! That was a bit crap. Yeah, there's no music on it. It feels just very throwaway. The other levels had like sort of a really nice flow to them. I want to go through here, but I'm gonna get shot to bits before I can even see. These green guys are hard to kill without the shotgun. So this one has music that's okay but repetitive. This has had music up until this level. This level seems to, unless it's an error, but it just seems to have no music. Yeah. I'm hoping this level won't even be very long. Oh. All that for a medical pack. Like I said before, it wouldn't be half as bad if the camera was just zoomed out just a little bit more. It feels like they can throw stuff before I even know they exist. And I don't have any grenades either. Oh, for well, there's some grenades. Oh my god, and something's shooting at me that's off screen. They sure love to shoot you before they've actually come into the television screen. Ugh. Really, really, really want the shotgun. Is that... No. Whoa. Did anybody play the Evil Dead game on the PS1? Was that good? Because that's a movie game, wasn't it? Or was it a sequel? The Fistful of Boomstick. I guess that was a sequel. And that also wasn't made when the movie came out. What the fuck? Oh. It got quite reasonable reviews. Oh, this level is obnoxiously noisy. Too much stuff going on. Oops, that was a bad idea. That's a medical pack, but I don't need it now. Level's like trying to drive you insane. Yeah. It's a shame when games do this because I had high praise for this game and this level is just like jumped off a cliff. Just miserable. Oh, father. Spider-Man 2 was good. I said that one. I said Spider-Man the movie, and then I said wasn't the sequel supposed to be even better, but I never played it. Ugh, let's go back. Oh no. Can I get him? Oh. Right, well. Whatever. I wonder if this level is going to be long. I'm probably going to get game over. Looks like the end of the level. Really? I don't know if that should go in or... Ah! There's a medical pack. Why is it still giving me all this bullets and stuff? Maybe it's not the end. Oh. Oh. I'm gonna go in that thing. See what's in there. Hopefully there'll be a life or something. Oh. Is this just an extra place to go, or what? So I've got 99 shotgun bullets and still no shotgun. Oh, finally, is that the shotgun? Oh my god, it's about time. Oof, too late though. Needed it ages ago. Oh, goody. So wait, what would have happened if I'd have carried on outside? I don't know whether to go through this or go outside now. Too many directions. Oh. Oh, bugger that. Absolutely not. Although we probably have to. Right, well. There's so many different places to go now. It's kind of too much choice. I need some dead ends. Oh god, I'm nearly dead. Oops. Did not mean to do that. Oh, I don't even want the shotgun on, but it's too late. Frustrating. All the blind spots. Walking down when you can't see what's coming. Where are we now? That's looped around. I'm kind of tempted to go outside again. And carry on around that side bit. Oh, I know where we are now. Let's go back out for a bit. And see if there was something over there. I'm just hoping to find like an extra life or something off the detour way. Oh, I can't leave. Well, that's that decision then. I bet there was probably something there as well. This grinding noise is just so depressing. Oh, and game over. Oh. Boom. Oh well. I suppose it is bedtime.